Welcome back to my top 100 board games so far that I've played. We are now in the top half. So, part 6, numbers 50 to 41. I am really excited to talk about this part because these are truly the great games of the list. Number 50, The Adventurers, Temple of Shock. Now, I haven't played Pyramid of Horus, which is fine. I think if I did, I'd combine the games and say, hey, the Adventurer's system. But, Temple of Shock. I basically call this Indiana Jones the board game because you're running into a room and walls close in, and then you run out and you've got a ball chasing you. And then there's a lava pit, and then you can go into a room and try to roll dice to get treasure from the alcove, and you can run in a river and get treasure, or you can go down and cross a rickety old bridge. All the while you're being chased by the stone. And if you don't get out before the stone, you die. It's a game about getting treasure and rolling dice and mitigating your losses. It's a ton of fun. Yes, I know I'm using the word fun a lot in these videos, but this game is all about that push your luck aspect of how much treasure do you want to hold on to, because the more treasure you have, the heavier the load, the fewer actions you get on the dice rolls. And really, it's about risk-reward. Do you continue to go and get treasure, or do you work to get out and hope that that ball moves a lot faster than everyone else was expecting? And if it does, and you're the only one out, well, you win by default. So, take your chances. Pick your battles. And you do that well, it's all good. The Adventurers, a lot of fun. Number 49, Survive, Escape from Atlantis. Yes, there is a space version of this. Yes, I would probably like that even more if I had played it, but I haven't. So, based on what I know, Escape from Atlantis. Take a bunch of people, even up to 6. Not so great at 6, but up to 6. Put them on an island. Island sinking. Get everybody off. Oh wait, the waters are infested with sharks, which will eat your people. Whales, which will destroy your boats. And sea monsters, which will destroy your boats and eat your people. That sounds fun. Yeah. No. But yeah, bit of memory in this game because people are worth points, and you don't necessarily remember where your big scoring points are. Like, I don't ever remember those things. Yeah. Lots of strategy. Maybe more tactics in this game. Basically, work with other people, get your guys to safety. Whoever does that the best will win. Simple game, but still a lot of fun. That's Survive. Number 48, Power Grid. This is my economic go-to game. When I want a brain burner, when I want something to really push and go, okay, I'm going to sit here for 2-3 hours and work out math and logistics of, okay, I need to do this and this and this. Yeah, Power Grid fills that void. And I really like Power Grid. It is a solid game. It does what it does very well. It gives me a reasonable feel for maximizing the power plants I want, having to get the fuel for them, and then having the money to power everything. It's not easy. And expanding cities, knowing when to expand, getting that turn order in the right place, and interacting with everyone else, it's a true challenge. So, Power Grid, yes, it's on the heavy side. Yes, it's economic. No, the theme doesn't really stand out, but I think it fits well enough. So, if any of that sounds interesting to you, check it out. Number 47, Takenoko. This is another one of those kind of fun, silly games because there's a panda and a gardener who looks goofy. You're growing bamboo. And yes, there's a ton of, well, tactics and some long-term strategy to this game. But for the most part, you're having to adapt and figure out, okay, what's the best move I can do right now? And I just read a review about the expansion, and it's actually really making me want to get the expansion, or at least play with the expansion, because I think that there's a lot of intrigue and that the expansion would change some of the things that I don't necessarily love about the game, and I might even like it more. So, Takenoko, really cool theme, not something I've seen a lot, and yeah, I could talk about it a bunch more, but I think the best thing to do is say, check it out. It's action selection. So, number 46, Machikoro. Now, I say this with a little bit of a caveat. Don't get both expansions. Millionaire's Row can be avoided, but the Harbor is a great expansion. Almost a necessary expansion. Millionaire's Row has some cool things, but it almost bloats the game. What I want to do is kind of pick out a bunch of cards from Millionaire's Row and go, that's not helpful. But, you know, that's a big project. I did play in a Machikoro tournament, and I won, so I got the shiny foils, and that's really cool. Those are neat to have, but they're by no means absolutely necessary to the game. It's dice rolling, so there's obviously luck there, but you can mitigate a lot of that luck by having good diversity in what you build. And the better off you do that, the better you're going to do in the game. So, Machikoro, a lot of luck, bit of strategy, combine the two together, you can do pretty well. Number 45, Quadropolis. This is completely new to the list because it's a really new game. But Quadropolis is all about city building and doing it in a different way. You have limited ways to pick up tiles from the center. People can block a lot of those options, and you want certain tiles. You have to be able to adapt plans, and balance is a big key in this game, because if you have too many of one thing, you're not going to have the other things that you need to make all the pieces work, and then you have leftover resources which cost you points at the end of the game. So it is about getting a lot of points in a couple of different areas rather than 1 point here and there and everywhere. So Quadropolis, Days of Wonder game, anytime you see that, you know it's at least solid. It may not be for everybody, but Quadropolis hit a good mark for me. I like it. It's almost Suburbia light, but it's done in a different way. And for that reason, I think it's really good. So, great game for me. Number 44, Wits and Wagers. And I kind of classify all of Wits and Wagers as one game. So Wits and Wagers base, Wits and Wagers family, Wits and Wagers party. That's all Wits and Wagers to me. I do have to give the caveat. I had the privilege of playtesting for Wits and Wagers Party, and I have a signed box cover and all of that from Dominic, and that probably slants it in the favor of me really liking Wits and Wagers, but I wouldn't have been at the point where I wanted to playtest the game if I didn't already enjoy Wits and Wagers. It's a trivia game. But it's trivia for people that don't necessarily know trivia. So if you're not a Trivial Pursuit person, you can still do well at Wits and Wagers. What helps is kind of ballpark knowledge where, hey, you know it takes light about 8 minutes to get from the sun to the earth, but you don't know exactly how long that is. You know it takes the moon about a month to go around. That helps. You don't necessarily know how long it takes Mars to orbit the sun, but you know it takes longer than 365 days because it's further out than the Earth. Those sorts of things all help you in the game because you are betting on what you think is close without going over. So, put all that together, Wits and Wagers can be a really fun game, especially in a party environment. Number 43, Suro. Yeah. Going with a pure classic. Play a tile, follow the path. Your goal, stay on the board as long as possible. You run into somebody else, you're both out. You fly off the board, you're out. It's that simple. The way the game executes all of that, it's pretty darn brilliant. And the game's simple and fast. About 10 minutes. Maybe 15 if people are really sitting there thinking about their move and having to plot out a bunch of things and going, okay, if I go there, that's going to follow me there, and then there, and then, yeah, I'm off. Okay. And then you realize that there's nothing you can do and you're dead anyways. But that's okay. Suro is a very simple game, but it's also an amazing game for spatial recognition and figuring out where you want to be, who you want to be next to, whose life you want to put whose hands you want to put your life into, game life, not real life. And it works out really, really well. And for that reason, Suro is a big hit. Number 42, Kings of Ehrenstein. This is a tasty minstrel game. They did it on Kickstarter because that's how they do most of their games. So a lot of people haven't heard of this. It's a pick up and deliver game. But then the delivery is done by trains, which is the steam part. The air part is steampunk steamships, airships, which is really cool. The miniatures are fantastic in this. What this game does well is have a very limited action economy. You play 5 rounds with 4 moves in each round. So you get 20 actions for the entire game, period. That's it. Even at that point, the game still takes about 2-3 hours. And that's okay, because there's a lot of thought that goes into every move you make, because you have 20. Everything has to matter. And you're planning 4 at a time. So it's very important. I don't have a lot of pick up and deliver games. I think it's a genre I need to get more of, because I really enjoy this. And I think that I would enjoy other pick up and delivers. So maybe you guys can recommend some pick up and deliver games that I would like, that aren't like super complicated, but on the lighter fare. It's if you like a little bit of variable power and you like pick up and deliver, Kings of Ehrenstein, I recommend it, so check it out. And the last game on this list, number 41, Between Two Cities. This is a game where you, the player, are literally between 2 cities. You build with the neighbor on your left and the neighbor on your right. You have to cooperate. And the thing is, you get your lower score. And the winner is the person with the highest score. So, how you do that, how you balance building 2 cities, is a real challenge. I haven't mastered it, because most games I've built like the real low-scoring cities. But my 2 cities have been very close in score. So I've mastered the balance part, just not the high score part. I'm working on it. At least I have some balance in my life. Still, I love Between Two Cities. I think it's a great design. I think it's brilliant. I think that this dynamic of working with 2 other people and having to communicate, but they're working with another person, and you're torn. You don't really know which way to go, and you got to help people, but you realize you might be giving them the game by helping them build that city. But you need that city to be built up too, because it's points for you. The choices you have to make. It's awesome. All right, that's it for part 6. We're now into the top 40, the hits, the greatest hits. So until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care, guys.